Today we'll be talking about lesson 4.6 on writing equations in slope-intercept form. So here you see write an equation that represents each side of the figure. So this figure has four sides, so we're going to need to be writing four separate equations. Now remember that slope-intercept form is that y equals mx plus b when, here we go, get the pen back going. Y equals mx plus b when m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So now I'm going to start with this top line here. So this top line is horizontal, therefore it has no slope. It crosses the y-axis at 5. So for this top red line, my equation is going to be y equals 5. Since it is a straight horizontal line. Go ahead and try and write an equation for the bottom line at this time. Since the bottom line of this figure also crosses the y-axis at -1 and is horizontal, we know that there is no slope, therefore the equation would be y equals -1, which is the y-intercept where that horizontal line crosses that y-axis. Now, when we look at the next set here, we have a slope and we have a y-intercept. So we can see that the line crosses at 2 on the y-axis. So y equals the slope times x plus 2 since it's at the y-intercept of 2. Now, from this point, our line goes up 3 units and to the right a unit to find the next point that falls on a perfect corner. So we can say that our rise is 3 and our run is 1. Therefore, our slope is 3 over 1, or 3. So here we see that the equation for the left side is y equals 3x plus 2. Now, since the two sides, the left and the right, are parallel lines have to have the same slope. So we know that the right side is also going to have a slope of 3. We would need to estimate where that y-intercept would be if this line continues. And using our reasoning skills we had here, where our slope goes up 6 units and over 2 units, or up 3 over 1, if we continued to work backwards, down 3 and left 1, we would find that our y-intercept is going to be -10. So we can write an equation for each side of this figure. Go ahead and try to write an equation using that slope-intercept form for numbers 1 and 2 right now. For number 1, we have a slope from one point to the next of up 2 over 1. So slope of 2, positive, because from left to right our line goes up. So 2x plus, starting at 2 on the y-axis for our y-intercept. So for the first equation, our equation is y equals 2x plus 2. If we look at the second equation, from left to right the line falls, so we know we have to have a negative slope. So I'm going to start with y equals, from the first point to the second point, I had to go down 4 units and across 3 units. So down 4 over 3, so -4/3 x. My y-intercept is at -1, so -4/3 x minus 1. On number 3, write an equation of the line that passes through the point 0, 5 and 4, 5. Now remember that we can find the slope. I'm going to change colors here and kind of make a box. So for number 3, we can find the slope by using that y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 5 take away 5 is 0. 4 take away 0 is 4, and 0 over 4 is 0. Remember, 0 divided by 4 is 0. 0 in the top gives you a 0 slope. 0 in the bottom gives us undefined. So we know that our slope is 0. So we can start with y equals 0x. Now, the y-intercept. Now, if you think about the y-intercept, you see in each of these places that the y-intercept has an x coordinate of 0. So if we look here, we have an x coordinate of 0. So this is our y-intercept. So 0x plus 5. Now 0 times x, anything times 0 is 0. So our equation would be y equals 5.